Hola everyone, welcome to Flexibility Script. This video is going to be going into an exercise called McKenzie press-ups. McKenzie press-ups are really wonderful to help create some extension into the lumbar spine specifically, though it does get some thoracic spine as well. If you find yourself in seated positions a lot, or even if laying down often can happen too, sometimes that lumbar spine normally should have this nice curvature to it. And sometimes with time, especially if you sit a lot, you can lose that curvature by things on in your chair like lumbar supports, McKenzie rolls, or McKenzie rolls in your car. McKenzie roll is like this lumbar pillow that you can put in on your chair that helps give your spine some curvature, so that if you do sit a lot, that lumbar roll, that support, will help maintain some curvature to your lumbar spine. Along with that, doing exercises like the McKenzie press-ups will be really helpful, especially if you have any experience with the possibility of disc issues like slip disc or bulging disc, that maintaining some extension through your lumbar spine or doing exercises that help create extension through your lumbar spine really play a part in supporting a healthy disc position, as it won't protrude out, causing symptoms. So the exercise is fairly simple. It oftentimes resembles a bit of, I guess it's called a cobra in yoga, where you're pushing up and your hands are normally right underneath your shoulders as you push up. The only difference is that with this one, you're not actually needing to be on your toes and lifting your whole body up off the floor. Your hips stay relaxed all throughout this, and it's really nice to start further away from your shoulders. So depending on your hand position will kind of determine what vertebra in your lumbar spine is going to be going into extension more. The further away you are, and we'll get into it, it'll get the first lumbar vertebrae, and as you keep moving back, you'll kind of keep working on isolating the second, then the third, then the fourth, and the fifth. Granted, they're all going to be going into extension, but the hand position will really help you be able to focus in on more on one section of the lumbar spine. As you keep traveling down, it'll get closer to the hip. So to start off, I always like starting off with the hands right underneath your shoulders. When the hands are right underneath the shoulders, that's the L5 position, meaning L5, the fifth lumbar vertebrae position. So if I were to push up from this position, I'd be targeting more L5. And sometimes when there's some limitations in your back, like let's say you do have a history of herniations or slip disc or bulging disc, usually the further back your hands are, the more uncomfortable, and I sometimes say stickier, it is to move through. So it's nice to start further away before you work back to L5. But having your hands positioned there is a good start, in the sense that this is where the last hand position will be. To find L4, if you reach your hands up further, when your hands are right above your shoulders, that's the L4 position, so the fourth lumbar vertebrae. So if I were to push up through here, it'll help create extension through the fourth lumbar. And then if I move up again another hand's worth, that's L3. Move up again, there's L2 and L1. So you kind of inch your hands forward. So again, L5 is hands underneath, inch it up so that the hands are above the shoulders, or L4. Here's L3, here's L2, and here's L1. So from L1 is where I'll start off, and all I'm going to be doing is I can be nice and relaxed down on the ground, and then I'm going to push through my hands, and there's 3 cues I give myself. One is, are my eyes of the elbows forward? Are my shoulders away from my ears? And are my glutes relaxed? Sometimes there's a tendency to do that. So every time I'm here, I hold long enough, about 3 to 5 seconds, enough to make sure that eyes of the elbows are forward, shoulders are away, and glutes are relaxed. And I'll come back down, and then I'll push up, and I can be doing this anywhere from 2 to 5 repetitions before I move back into the next part. So from here, I can move back, and I'm going to go into my L2 position. And same thing, I'm going to push through my hands, push through the fingertips, and then I come up. I want to make sure shoulders are away from the ears, eyes of the elbows are forward, and glutes are relaxed. And sometimes it's hard to know whether or not the glutes are relaxed. So I like giving this cue of pretend that you're squeezing a $100 bill between your cheeks and let the $100 bill go. And then that'll help relax your glutes. Now you'll find that that's L2, here's L3. You'll find that as soon as you relax your glutes, if I'm holding tension in them, it kind of doesn't let my lumbar spine go into extension. So as soon as I relax, it allows that lumbar spine to be going into extension, further extension. I'm going to just shift the camera up. Okay, so again, so now I'm on L4, so the hands are going to be right above my shoulders. And again, I'm going to push up, and then same thing, eyes of the elbows forward, shoulders away from the ears, glutes relax, and then I'll come right back down. Breathe in, and breathe out. And sometimes on the places that are a little bit stickier, those are the places where I tend to go into a little bit more repetitions. So on this L4 area, other thing I like to keep in mind is that when I push up, I resist the urge to do that, where my elbows flare out to push up. I always want to think about elbows coming in, and as soon as elbows wind up and in, you'll automatically be set in the position so that the eyes of the elbows are forward and the shoulders are relaxed and glutes relax. And then I'll come back down. Again, push up without doing that. So think wind them inward. You'll end with the eyes of the elbows forward, shoulders away from the ears, and relax the glutes. And then come right back down. So L5 is same thing, except this time hands are right underneath the shoulder. And same thing, I'm going to be pushing up, making sure I don't do that. I wind my elbows in, push up all the way. And I want to make sure I push up all the way. Shoulders relax, glutes relax. And then I'll come right back down. Breathing in. And breathe out, push up. And I feel always the hardest part is usually letting go of the tension in the glutes. So, and that's okay. That's why we pause at the top. Again, the 3 cues are your eyes of the elbows forward, which is your elbow pit. Shoulders, bring them away from the ears and relax the glutes. And as soon as you relax, you'll feel that lumbar spine gently go into extension. Starting the mornings off with these, or ending the night, or doing them throughout the day, there's no wrong or right. It's a really gentle exercise that just really focuses in on that lumbar spine and creating extension, and really great preventative for having from having disc issues, along with treatment if you're having disc issues, that you start being able to get some curvature and some movement into extension along the lumbar spine. If you find that as you're moving your hands back that you may find that you can't quite straighten your arms out when you get to the 4th position or the 3rd or the 5th, that's okay. You kind of keep working on what you have. So maybe you'll go back and do a second set at L1, L2, and L3, and keep working with what you have. And over time, as that spine keeps going into extension, you should be able to get into where you're able to straighten your arms at L4 and L5. And again, it's a gentle enough exercise that could be done on a daily basis, and should be done on a daily basis if you are in positions where you find yourself seated for 8 hours out of the day, or driving in the car majority of the time. So protect your back and prevent things from happening, and just keep everything healthy. You are as old as your spine. Bye, guys.